Hey chums! Greetings from Busch Gardens, Tampa. Today is the opening for Iron Gwazi, and this is also the first weekend of the Food and Wine Festival.
Yes, it is. We've already been on Iron Gwazi once today. It was awesome as usual. I actually liked it even better the second time, because we got to ride it for pass holder previews during the Passport to Thrills event. And now we're going to go explore the food festival and see what kind of offerings they have. I'm hoping that there's some gluten-free options for Mel. Last year it was a little tough. If I remember correctly, last time we had a food festival here at Busch Gardens, there wasn't a whole lot of options for Mel. So we're going to see what we can and can't eat. All right.
Actually, usually this festival is pretty easy. It's the other festivals, like the smaller ones, like the holiday festivals where it's a lot of cookies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I noticed on the website that they are not showing what's gluten-free. And the last festival that we were here for was the Mardi Gras, which was like a smaller festival. And they actually did have gluten-free stuff that just wasn't marked gluten-free at the booth. So
okay, gotcha.
It might be a little bit of investigating again this time around, but we'll see.
All right, come with us. All right, I went straight to booth number 3 because 1 and 2 look like it's not really anything that I'm interested in. 1 was cocktails, and 2, it was Napa Nook. There was just dessert there. I wanted to start with something savory, so I went straight over to Seasonally Inspired, which is booth 3, and got the orange glaze burnt end pork belly bites that come with plantains and some chives and sesame. It smells very good. Unfortunately, there was nothing gluten-free to eat here from Mel. They had a cheesecake offering, but not gluten-free. All right, let's check this out. That's pretty good. I feel like I would like it better if there was a little garlic flavor to it. That sauce, like it tastes like it wants to be really good and then it just goes bland. I think garlic would make it pop, but it's still pretty tasty nonetheless. Let me try a plantain. That plantain's pretty good. Not the best plantain I've ever had, not the worst, pretty good. So, give it like a 6 out of 10.
There's another booth over here called Southern Kitchen. They have shrimp and grits. I did check with them to see if there was anything I could eat because they have a shrimp and grits, which I just had at the Mardi Gras festival, and that was gluten-free. But for some reason, they're telling me that this shrimp and grits is not gluten-free. So that's another strikeout for me, unfortunately.
From the same booth that Mel tried to get something at and failed at Southern Kitchen, I was like, you know what? Barbecue short ribs sound awesome. I love short ribs. They're out today, so that's a strike for me. I am over at All American Eats, booth number 6. I attempted to get the Game Time Bison Burger because it sounded delicious, except it has blue cheese on it. I'm not crazy about it, so I said, hey, is it possible to get the Bison Burger with no blue cheese? And they said, we're out of the Bison Burger. Strike number 2 for me. We're over at booth number 15, which is West Coast Catch, and we're just going to try to get a little info about some of the items here, like if that shrimp taco is made with corn tortilla or flour tortilla, and then if the Flamin' Hot Cheetos street corn is gluten-free for Mel. They also have a flan. Flan usually is. Kind of hoping it is because I feel bad for her. She hasn't been able to get anything, but I really haven't either. I might get the flan. We'll see.
This has been probably my worst experience I've had at a food festival, one of the theme park food festivals, where they had like a lot of food, where it was like the main food festival. I just asked over at this booth if anything was gluten-free, because flan usually is. And the Cheetos I'm not really sure about. And shrimp tacos, if the tacos are on corn tortilla. But I went and they asked them, and he said that nothing is labeled, so they really don't know. So they can't say if it is or isn't. I've never seen that before. And I think that that's like very weird here at Busch Gardens, especially since they're owned by SeaWorld. And even SeaWorld has their stuff labeled. So this is probably not a festival I would recommend to you if you have a food allergy, because it seems like they're not really too concerned. They don't have like a guide at each booth like they do at the other parks. So I don't know. I mean, if Adam wants to continue getting stuff to eat, we'll show you the other food. But anyone who's following this to see what's gluten-free, it's a mystery to me myself. I don't know.
All right, so we just had our next strikeout at Yingling Butchery. They offer the duck fries, the urban duck fries, and they also offer a pulled pork Mel asked about the duck fries. Those are usually gluten-free. And the lady was very nice and said, I'm going to go ahead and ask. She went ahead and called. She made a couple of phone calls, it looked like. And on her way back to let us know what was going on, I overheard the conversation. And basically, they couldn't really get an answer. So they said, just say, no, it's not gluten-free. I think they kind of got tired of looking and trying to figure it out. To me, that's just bogus. Like I always say, we are not complainers. We don't look for the bad in everything. Actually, the opposite. I try to look for the silver lining in everything, but we'll always be honest and tell you when something is bogus and messed up. That was bogus.
Yeah, we almost like thought, are we really going to make a vlog of this? But then the whole point of our vlog is to not only show you what we're eating, but show you the actual experience. So
Yes.
if it's a bad experience, we're not even going to say it's a bad experience. You judge for yourself. We're just
Right.
showing you the experience that we had. There were less booths this year than in previous years. I get it. Things have changed since the pandemic, and we have a new normal now. But I don't remember it being this bad. Like, there were a lot more booths. I remember being able to get a fillet in the Hawaii booth,
there may
like,
have been
years
one, but
back,
well, the thing is, there may be a fillet booth somewhere around here.
there's not.
And-
I looked online. Yes, I looked
See,
online.
I was even going to go as far as to say what this has kind of shown me is that even if there was a fillet booth, if you ask them, hey, is this fillet gluten-free, or does it have an herb or spice on there that I can't eat? Like if there was a cheap garlic powder, which sometimes contains gluten, if that's in the spice, instead of like contacting a chef and saying what's in this, they just kind of tell you, we don't know, so just tell them no. That I don't know if that's a fluke, like a one-time thing, and that just happened to be what was going on at that booth. But I feel like we've struck out so many times now at this festival, it has to kind of be what they're telling them is, if we can't figure it out in 2 minutes, just tell them to go away. That's kind of what it seems like.
I mean, the thing is that this is also the most poorly educated park when it comes to food allergies too.
They don't
There was
train.
a time
Yeah.
I came in and I ordered a burger, and I didn't show it. I'm not going to show you quick service food. It's not special. And they switched the bun out for a gluten-free bun, and she proceeded to try to give me French fries, which come from the same fryer as the breaded chicken nuggets.
Right.
So
It's a training issue. They're not training them.
They're not training the people right. And for me, as someone with Hashimoto's, if I do get gluten, I may not know right away. It may take like hours till I start to feel like symptoms. But there are people with food allergies where if they eat the wrong thing, they need an EpiPen. Like, it needs to be taken seriously. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, this park just doesn't take. I don't get it, because they're owned by SeaWorld,
Right.
which isn't the greatest, but at least it's SeaWorld. They're better at labeling things. This park, there's no labels of anything.
That
It's
seems
bizarre.
to be the issue. There's a few issues, but that's really the main ones. Nothing is labeled, and when you ask, they don't know.
And the
So I
solution
think really
is we
that's-
just may not be doing very many Busch Gardens vlogs, because there's not really a lot to show. I mean, even with like Gwazi, there's already a million POVs online.
Right.
So
including the
it's-
official one, which was taken with a shock
Yeah.
mount, and like nothing's going to be better than that. So
But I mean, we would still come here because we like to come here and to ride
we
stuff.
like the coasters,
And
yeah.
if there is something to show, like, I mean, if there's more food that you want to eat, it's just that literally it took us today with traffic 2 hours to get here. We ate breakfast, we came here, it took 2 hours, and then we stood online for 2 hours to ride Iron Gwazi because it's the official opening day. Line is very long. So it's now like approaching 6 o'clock, and I haven't eaten anything since like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I really need to eat.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if we can't do it here, that means it's time to either find a quick service or to take off and go home, which is okay. We're pass holders. We can come back anytime. It's not that far from us. Usually it doesn't take 2 hours. Usually it's a good hour and 20. But yeah, I would say, like, I don't have food allergies, and I struck out. I kept going. Every time I'd want something, like, we're out of that, we're out of that, we're out of this. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, they're
Things
not
happen, but
supplied well.
that's, I think, another issue is a supply issue, which I get. Everyone's experiencing that problem right now. That is not just here in Busch Gardens, and it's not just me. Obviously, I'm not that selfish. I know that it's not just me, and I don't cause a stink about it. Like, oh, how do you mean you're out of that food? It happens. I get it. But for it to happen over and over, I think for me,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't purchase the lanyard. That's really the main thing.
They do have a lanyard if you do come here and you find that you're able to eat all this food. They have one for 10, it's $65. They also have one for 15 punches. That one is $80. It was $65 last year for that one, but they've now bumped up the price. If you have an annual pass, there's no discount. You just, instead of a 15 punch lanyard, they'll give you an 18 punch lanyard for $80. So I'm not saying don't give this a try. I mean, if you enjoy the Busch Gardens Food Festival and you don't have any food allergies or anything holding you back, by all means, come and enjoy.
We're not trying to yuck your yum. If it's something you enjoy, we're not trying to say, well, you're wrong. Like, that's not it at all. This is just our experience today. Also, this is the very beginning of the food festival. Things could change over time. Maybe they'll get enough people with food allergies saying, there's an issue here you guys should probably address. Maybe somebody will actually address the issue. Or supply could increase and they get some more food in. But this was just our experience today, so I'm going to give that a big no from me. But as we said, see for yourself. We're not telling you not to. All right, I think that's going to do it for us today, chums, at Busch Gardens. Be sure to subscribe to this channel right this second if you've not done so already. Smack the like button, hit the bell icon to receive all notifications every single time we upload a new video. Until next time, we will see you guys at the parks.